Hello everybody, welcome you all in my channel and today's discussion. I always feel very warmed up. I really feel glad when I come and meet you all, right? So in today's topic is sensitive periods, right? And I'm going to divide this topic into two halves, right? One is what is sensitive period, what are the various types of sensitive period, what are the and the next video will include what will happen if you deprive your child those sensitive periods. And remember one thing, the sensitive periods plays a very important part in child's life. So we will be discussing today what and how, right? Children pass through certain periods in their life where they express psychic aptitude and certain possibilities which again disappears in the later period of life, right? And that is why we often observe that at a certain epoch of their life, or you can say that at a certain stage in their life, these little ones shows a special and intense interest towards certain objects and certain activities, exclusion of others. You'll see that they are not paying that interest towards certain type of activities, whereas on the contrary, their concentration or they are engrossed with only specific type of interest or activities, right? Or special type of objects. Such interest and attentions are not the result of mere curiosity. We often think as adults, we often think that okay, it may be just due to the curiosity, but we have to understand that this intense interest, these inclinations are not mere of just out of curiosity, but more like burning child's passion, okay, and this duration or this particular period where the child shows this kind of behavior is called sensitive period, okay. And this sensitive periods, so we can define the sensitive periods at the block of time in child's life when they are engrossed with certain type of activities, with the certain type of interest, okay, and in the environment to the exclusion of others. If you all young parents or the parents, those who have children from 0 to 6 years, they will often, if you observe your child, you will find this sensitive period in certain periods of life. Now let's describe what are those 6 sensitive periods, okay. We will discuss. I'll throw light on this. The first is the period of sensitivity to order. As you all know, Dr. Maria Montessori, she has emphasized a lot of importance on order in child's life, okay. She said that this sensitiveness is visible in child's life in the first year and it continues in the second year. The child demonstrates his or her interest in various ways. You'll often see that he becomes happy by seeing the familiar places, by seeing the same kind of atmosphere, by seeing the same kind of environment, right? You'll often also see that he or she will always insist on putting things back in their appropriate places. He will not like mess, okay. Then he will often see that the child is crying or throwing tantrums, okay, towards the unknown places, towards unknown people. We often think, and it comes to our mind, oh my God, is that my child is not social? It's not that. Remember that it means the child is has entered to the sensitivity to order. In child's life, order plays a very important role. Order in the environment is very important, because when there is order, he can understand the world around himself very. So there is a harmony between him and his immediate environment, right? Now the second sensitiveness is this learning through 5 senses. Now we all have seen that children loves to explore with the objects, and sometimes we often think that, oh, my child is so fidgety. It's not that the child is fidgety. Believe me, parents, the young child has natural tendency to explore the environment. The more objects will be there in the environment, the child will be happy. He must have the objects around him, objects as per his age, as per his interest, the colorful objects, the real objects. So he must have those objects to develop his neurological structure for understanding and thinking, for understanding, okay, these are the shapes of this, that, okay, mango shape is like this, a ball shapes like this. Very important for him for the development of the neurological structure. Yeah. Now let's come to the third one, sensitivity to small objects. I'm sure at times we as parents often find, okay, why my child is so much interested, in observing or picking up the small, tiny things that are scattered on the floor, right? That things, that often comes in our mind. It's due to the sensitivity to the small objects. This sensitivity starts at the age of 2 and it continues till 2.5. Now, why this sensitivity or this sensitive period is important? This aspect of sensitive period is important. This is important as it enhances child's power of observation, which is very important, and allows the child to concentrate his intellectual power on a specific problem. That allows him to understand specific problem, to solve a specific problem as he grows. Now the next one is sensitivity to coordination of movement. I'm sure at times, most of the time we as parents have this complaint, oh, my child is not sitting in one place and concentrating on work. Isn't it? Don't worry. It's because of the sensitivity to coordination of movement. And this sensitivity starts at the age of 2.5 years and it continues till 4. Now what does it mean? It means bringing of body under the control of the child's will. You'll often see that, at home the child is not sitting, walking around. Sometimes the child will walk on the pillow and then, enjoys hurdle. You'll see that. Why? This because of the sensitivity to coordination of movement. This sensitivity signifies that there is an involuntary inclination to repeat or to replicate those movements merely because the child wants to have a precise control of his movement. Yeah? Have you ever observed when you leave your child in the park to play, the child will not find the easy way, to go in the slide. They will find always a difficult way, complex way. Why? It's because he has got an involuntary inclination to bring his entire body movement under his control. Okay? The next is, which is very important, all sensitivity is important. The next one is sensitivity to language. and this begins at the age of 1.5 and it continues till the age group of 3. Okay, I would like to ask you one thing, or let's discuss on one thing. We often say that children absorbs languages, sounds from the environment. Have you ever noticed that a young child, right from infant, keeps on hearing so many sounds? Parents talking, the drum beating, dog barking, cats mewing. But why do you think the child only picks up the human language and not the cat mewing or the dog barking? Right? That means the child has the sensitivity towards the human language. Children have the capacity, to pick up human language or observe human language to the exclusion of the other languages or other sounds. Isn't it very interesting? We have never thought on it, right? And the last is sensitivity to social aspects. And definitely we all know that this begins at the age of 2.5 and it continues to 6 years. At this age, children's concentration is more towards their peer group, right? You'll often see that, whenever you will take your child to the park, the child is, even if the child is playing, his concentration or he's looking towards other children of his age group, right? Even if the child is doing solitary play or or a role, just like there's free play or whatever the child is doing, or the child is playing alone, but he is having an eye on his environment towards the other children who are playing. So this sensitivity to social aspects is also very important. Now, when I have told you all those 6 sensitive periods, we have to keep all those sensitive periods in mind, because once we deprive our children of these sensitive periods, the child will not develop to its potential. And how do you think we'll be able to understand which sensitivity, the child has begun, right? For this, my dear parents, my dear adults, you have to observe and observe. We as adults cannot deprive our children from these sensitive periods, because remember one thing, sensitive periods stays for a very short period of time. Once it goes, and if you cannot utilize it properly, it goes. It's a total loss. We will not be able to get back to it, right? So, thank you so much for listening to me. Please keep in mind, keep observing your children and think and try to come to conclusion which sensitive period your child is in. And in my next video, I'll be discussing what happens actually if you deprive your child from these 6 sensitive periods, right? So thank you so much for seeing my videos, for observing your children, right? You can drop a message, you can contact me, my number is there if you feel need in any time. For the day, thank you so much. Have a great day.